2004 Pontiac Sunfire. Customer complaint is these gauges sometimes he'll be driving it and it'll lose indication. Don't worry about that other noise in the back, that's just some HVAC actuator stuff. But his main complaint is these gauges will lose indication, and I don't necessarily think it's a power, well, I guess it could be a power and ground issue, but I think there's a class 2 data bus, because I was scanning it about a week ago and I had some data bus codes in there and I cleared them all and finally got a chance to work on it. I haven't seen it act up yet, personally. So using the Maxis Ultra, we're going to connect to it, see what codes we got in here. See what we come up with. So yeah, but he said he would lose indication of basically everything. Everything would just go away. That's what he made it sound, but then other times he would say that all the lights would come on. So we'll have to see. Automatic transmission. Sorry about the glare. Identifies as a 2004 22 Sunfire. We'll do the topology scan here. If I remember right, that engine light is for an O2 sensor heater circuit, which he does not care. Apparently, he just wants his dash to work, so he knows how fast he's going so he doesn't get pulled over. One in the PCM, one in the airbag. One in the instrument cluster. Alright, so let's go to report. Again, I cleared these, so heated oxygen sensor, performance 2. He doesn't care about that now, but he's got a SIR airbag, lost communication with PCM, and lost communication with PCM for the IPC. Now their history. And they were not in here earlier this morning. So I'm going to exit out of this. We're going to go to the bus topology. Or not the bus topology. Go in here and go to bus inspection. It's going to be pin 2. It's a class 2 data. I got the schematics printed off. I don't have them in the car right now. But all these modules talk on one wire. Going to pin 2 on the DLC, the diagnostic link connector, pin 2. You go to a single can, pin 2. View the waveform. Just put a trigger on here. What I noticed earlier, that's why I wanted to film this. Let me pause this. Right there. See how that one's tall to 7.2 volts? This one's a lot shorter to, let's just see the difference. 7.2 to 5.84, a difference of 1.4, almost 1.5 volts. So you can change your scaling here. There's your zeros and ones. So you can jump up and down there. Just did it there. Let's make it easier in our eyes. Take this trigger off. Well, let's go 100 milliseconds of division to see it. Now, to me, I would think it ought to be the same, but why are we getting one that's the high side of 7.2 and the low side of 5.92, 1.3 volts difference? High and low. You think they'd all be the same? I'd have to look up the, it was a 0 to 7 volts on these. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up again. I can't remember. But is that the anomaly we're having that's causing the loss of communication? Or is it supposed to be like that and there's another issue? But you can see that there. Go back to 5 milliseconds of division. Put a trigger on. And let's go smaller. 1 millisecond of division so you can jump up and down. So let's do a go back. And then it's going to make me exit out of this. Come on. Exit out of this. Let's go back to our diagnostic side. Let's clear these codes. See how long it takes for them to come up again. We do a scan real quick. Oh my God, that noise is annoying. That HVAC actuator. All right, so we're finishing up here at the scan. We'll do a quick erase. We'll erase them all. I guess we could. You can split screen this, but when we can't split screen it and read the data and use that same connector for the bus inspection. We'd have to use a scope. So you've seen the cluster do that. That's because we're talking to it right now. So it's doing a self-test basically. Let me fault scan it again. So what I was saying earlier, I could split screen it, but I can't split screen, I don't believe, when I'm using this diagnostic side and the bus inspection side. I would have to use the diagnostic side and the oscilloscope side with the breakout box and do it that way. Not that that may or may not help us. So it's green. So let's stop this. And let's go back to the scope. Just want to see where we're at. Go to pin 2. Again, I haven't seen any issues with the cluster yet. Go to single can, pin 2, view waveform. Let's go to 100 milliseconds. Still got your highs and lows. Now, I'm not saying that's an issue or not. I need to review the information on this. If it was, I would think the code would come back up right away or eventually. So I give it a lot more activity on the bus there. Just revving it up. Turning lights on and off. Closing doors. HVAC stuff. Shifting. See if we get any changes. Well, that noise stopped when I put it in drive. Now it's back in park and it's still not doing it. Go through the gears again. There's a big difference in those height of those. Let's go to 5 millisecond and put a trigger on. Going through the gears. There is a big difference in height for the voltages on this, which is kind of weird. Alright, so let's stop. Let's go read codes now. See if anything came back. Again, I haven't lost any instrumentation yet. Just going to IPC right away. Now that noise is coming back after it sits a little bit. No codes. Nothing yet. Let's just cycle power. That's the cluster doing it because I'm reading. It's reading itself again in green. Cycle power. Indication. Fault scan the whole entire system. I mean, we'll drive it again if we don't get nothing from this. So the cluster is good there. One in the PCM. Even though we cleared it, it's probably that O2 sensor, I would think. Now it's doing the instrument cluster, so that's why it's doing all of its self-checks. It's reading that, and that's why it's flickering. But it's green. So, the only evidence I have right now, if it's evidence, is the CAN bus high and lows. I need to look at class 2 and see if that's compared to another one or do some research and see. Did I just see all the lights move there? I didn't catch that. It may have, maybe it's because it was scanning. I thought it was done scanning the IPC by then. But the report, yeah, oxygen sensor, just cleared that again, so we know we got a hard fault there. Scan it again. So it's all green so far. Eventually this is going to, now it's in the IPC, so it's going to do its self-test. It's green. Yeah, all the lights come on after it scans and then they go away, which is part of the self-test. Still scanning the radio now. And then it went away again, all the lights came on. And it does it when it's all done scanning. I think that's just part of the scan it does. I'm gonna go drive a little bit and come back and scan it and go from there. So now we're driving it. I don't see any indication loss. Now, the guy says, if I remember right, he lives like 30 miles from town. And it may do it once, maybe twice, but for sure once when he goes on his drive. I don't even know if it does it every day. So it's pretty intermittent. I think the only evidence we have right now, if it is good evidence, is that class 2 data, which I need to look into. So again, I don't know if this may be a part 1 video, there may be a part 2 coming out. I'll still post this video, just depends what we find, especially if it's that intermittent. You know, if it only does it once every 30 miles or every couple of days or whatever it is, you know, we gotta spend time troubleshooting that. And well, time is money, so we'll drive it some more, hit some bumps, and go from there. I caught it. It just hit. I just turned the camera on. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I hit a bump. That temp went down, and the lights came on. I literally was going to make a U-turn right here. Just hit a little bump right there in the road. It wasn't much of a bump at all. And it lost indication. I hope I can do that again. Let me turn this thing around. I did. That's the first time I ever saw it. Of course, I didn't have my camera on. I turned it on when it was going down. Hopefully I captured some of it. There it did it again. But that's just engine temp. So I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm turned to the left. Service lights on. I missed it, it came back. But I didn't lose feel. I didn't lose feel and I didn't lose RPMs. The only thing I lost was temp gauge and these lights in the corner there. And I was turning left last time too. Not that that's causing it. At least we're getting some good data now. Let's do it again. So I was up here. And I went, maybe no, I was turning right. Yeah, I went, turn right there. Went away again. I'm turning left and right, but I'm also hitting bumps. Let's do it again. See what we got. People probably think I'm crazy. There it is. Check gauges, theft system. Gotta keep missing it. I'm all the way hard left. Turning right, nothing. I'm gonna turn right. Hit a bump. Check gauges, service, theft system. Everything else is good. Temps not reading, service engine light, theft system, and check gauges are all not reading. Everything else is good to go. I'm holding it right here. It's staying there. Let's do another fault scan. I would imagine we'd have a COM code now. That's the lights he's talking about. This must be exactly what he's talking about. So we're not losing RPM indication. We are losing temp indication, check gauges because of the temp, service, and okay, now the scanning that's doing it right there is because the IPC was doing it. What is weird, yeah, so I was doing that flash again, moving up and down because I was talking to the gauges, just like it did there, and it's gonna go away. Boom. Well, I don't have no comp to the PCM now. That is weird. Well, they had lost com with PCM, SIR. Body control, no state of health from the PCM. Well, it must get that indication, the temp sensor. I know it was a temp sensor, but it must get it from the PCM as well, I'd imagine. So we don't have no comm to the PCM right there. We just did a scan. Now we do. Oh, I think. We'll see. Yes, we do. Yeah, we have comm now. But for a little bit there, we didn't. So let's get out of this. So let's go back to the oscilloscope and graph that. This, we're getting some good data finally. Say finally, we just really started. So we definitely have an indication issue. I don't think, obviously it's not a power and ground going to this module, because if it was a power and ground, we would lose all indications. We have an input into this, or the network, it sounds like. Single CAN, channel 2 via waveform. Let's just make it easier to see. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys know when the gauges does its thing and see if anything changes on the scope. Still good. I know we got our bus high and low on there. Not high and low, but different voltages. Let's do it again. One away. It's down, it's down, it's down. Our bus is going way high, 7.2. So let's pause that. It's way down. All of our lights are on. It went back. I paused that, but look at this. Our high is 7.89 volts, and our lowest is 4.12 volts. Difference of 3.8 volts, almost 4 volt difference. That's definitely an issue. But it's still like that though. So let's just drive normal. Why are there such high spikes in there? Like, why are we going from 7.82 down to 4 point, yeah, that's almost 4 volts difference, 3.7. All right. Let me scan this thing again, and we'll see what we get. All right, I'm scanning again. We got communication to the PCM. It's got one code in there. Well, now it's doing it because, again, right there it's doing it because it was talking to the IPC. So when it's talking to the IPC, you're going to have those anomalies there, you know, doing its test and all that stuff. But we did capture it on camera, so we'll wait till it's done scanning here, which it is. And let me look here. Let me pull over and look. Heated oxygen sensor, lost comm with PCM, no state of health from the PCM. That's when we had no comm to it. So you erase them. So right now it's doing it again. And I didn't even turn, I'm just sitting straight. But now it comes back on. Now look, we lost all indication. Even the fuel level's going down. Look at it slowly moving down. I'm not even scanning. Let me escape out of this. I'm out of it, and it's now lost all indication. Now, since we're doing that, let's not even move our foot off the brake or nothing. Let's go to our bus inspection, pin 2. Because we're losing field indication, no RPM indication. The air's getting warm now, which is different. It was doing cold earlier. Something to take note of. So we'll do our bus. Yeah, look at the high, 7.89. Look at the low, 3.84. That's 4.1 volts difference. Let's go to a faster scale, put a trigger on. Yeah, so that's, you can see, that's so weird. So let's go back. Now everything's back now. What the hell? Now I heard the electric cooling fan come back on. Now the air's getting cold again. When I lost all indication, that air got warm and the electric fan was off. When everything came back, air got cold because the cooling fan came back on. AC is good. This should be a fun one. So far it is. Now let's go back and do a full system scan. Everything's back except the service light's on and the theft system light's on. Now there's two codes in the PCM, one in the airbag, one in the BCM. I would imagine there's one in the IPC. No, nothing in the IPC. That's kind of weird. Let's see what we got here. Let's do a report, skip their miles. So PCM, lost com with BCM, current, heated oxygen sensor, don't care, lost com with PCM, SIR, and BCM, no state of health from PCM. And we erased all those last time. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna get back to the shop. I'm gonna go show you guys the schematics. We're gonna get a plan to move forward to troubleshoot this, and go from there. All right, I did one last scan. IPC. Can't remember if I showed you guys this part or not. I had to go grab some food. While it was running, I scanned it again. Everything's working good now. But instrument cluster lost com with PCM. So we got that now again. So what we need to do now is look at some schematics and go from there. Alrighty, here's the wiring diagram for this. So the instrument cluster IPC class 2. So let's go up to pin 2. So 16 is your power for your DLC, 4 and 5 are your grounds on your DLC. Pin 2 is your class 2 data, goes from your BCM to IPC, to your airbag, to your EBCM, and all that stuff. So here's the schematics for it. This is your power and grounds for your PCM. I believe I printed off. You have PCM, power, your DLC schematics, and then your ground, and then your DLC schematics here. Like I said, so you got your vehicle communication interface module, your radio, digital radio receiver if it has it, PCM, EBCM, and all that stuff. So we can look at that. What I'll do now real quick, not that this will help us, may or may not, I'm using the Tech 2 here. You do a ping on here, you're gonna hit enter, diagnostics to 04, passenger car, Pontiac. So what product line? You look at the 4th digit of the VIN from the beginning, like you're reading a book, for a cars, and 5th digit if it's a truck. So the 4th digit, since this is a car, is a J. So you're gonna go to J. You can read your codes and all that. We're gonna go to diagnostic circuit check. Class 2 DTC check is just showing you what, if there's codes in there. Yeah, there's codes in all these except the radio. That's all that's showing. The class 2 message monitor, hit enter. We go back. So what it, message monitor, well, it showed you earlier, I missed that screen, what vehicles it wouldn't do it on, but this does it on there. So they're all active. So the IPC is active. Then you can hit ping module, or you can ping them all. When I ping it, it moves the cluster. So let's drive it around and see if it acts up, see if that goes to inactive or something like that when it acts up. Well, this vehicle already acts like it's got an issue when I'm driving it. If you remember earlier in the video we were turning, it seemed like when it acted up. Well, here's my Tech 2. If I put this thing in, switch gears, look at that. I put it in neutral and it loses like common power. Go back and drive, it'll initialize. It's like we got a ground issue with this vehicle. want to monitor voltage while we drive this. So if I drive, well, let me just turn the steering wheel left and right. Boom. Look at that. It starts over. So this Tech 2 is a clone Tech 2. So normally doesn't do that. However, if you turn a car off and start it, it'll power cycle like that. Because when they cloned it, there's an issue with something inside here to maintain power. There's a way around that. But that's telling me we're losing significant, well, decent amount of power. So let me just unplug this for now. Get this thing to act up. But when we're turning, voltage spikes, which I guess ultimately it's going to change at. And maybe I need to fix that on the Tech 2 for the clone. Let's get a stable connection there. Not a connection issue, I guess. It's more of a, when you turn the key off and you turn it, it'll restart that every time. Because like the voltage regulator in there, or capacitor, whatever they have is not the right one when they cloned it. Not a big deal unless you're starting a car. But there is a video out there where a guy makes, you can basically fix that issue with some external power supply or something he does. I'm gonna have to do that eventually. So I don't keep losing power to it, because it does kind of freak me out when it does that screen thing. And this Tech 2, I mean, I've programmed with this thing and everything, and it works awesome. I just got to fix that little power issue. But that's the thing. I've driven other vehicles reading live data, and I've never had to do that because I've never had an underlying issue like this. I've had other issues like transmission issues I've used it for. So that's just another clue we're losing power, which we can monitor that. So let's go back up to our same spot. Our lights are on. I want it to get it to act up so you can ping it with the Tech 2. Not that it's going to show us much data. We got better data with the scope anyways. Just another tool in our arsenal we can use, perhaps. There, it's off. Came back on. And it's like when I'm turning. So I thought it was hitting bumps, but it's like an electrical load. Or maybe it is hitting bumps. Maybe it's a ground issue. So I'm turning here and I don't see nothing doing it. But I'm going to fix that power supply in that Tech 2 so we could use it for this. But that actually is kind of a good thing to do it, so it gives us an indication. Right there, I just turning. When I'm turning to hit a bump, it's doing it. It's doing it now. Let's plug this in. Plugged it in. Losing RPM, coming back and forth. Powered us on. Hopefully it stays lost. Come on, power up. God, it just... We don't have a main... It's doing it again. We don't have a good power supply in this vehicle. I need to fix this thing. And you can actually use a power supply at the back of this right here and plug it into your cigarette lighter. That may help us too. Because we're just getting powered up from pin 16. So I could power it up from here to the DLC or to the cigarette lighter, or the DLC down there to the cigarette lighter. So it's not going to help us much now because it's not acting up, which I guess I didn't even need to pull this out because we got the Altel using the scope and stuff. But let's just see. Kind of learning with this thing anyways. Message monitor. Basically what I was talking about earlier, class 2 message monitor application does not support the following vehicles. We don't have that, so I just hit enter to bypass it. The radial's active. I can ping it and it does it. As soon as I try to drive here, see if that thing hopefully doesn't lose comm. This is gonna be hard to do. I wonder if I lose comm, if I lose my Tech 2 data as well. Right now it's good. There, it went away and I just gave it gas. Alrighty. Then it starts, when I put it back in park, it starts over. Let's go monitor voltage next. And in the meantime, I'm going to fix this. Normally, like I said, I can drive this with other vehicles and it works fine. It's when I turn this thing off. If I turn this off and I start it right now, it starts over because of the power cycle. I need to fix that, whether it's just put another power supply in here or down there, which I've tried, but I think what it is in the past, I've tried that, but I think what it is when they cloned it, like I said, there's a video out there that I can fix that with. But let's go monitor voltages next. Before I check voltages, I took my Tech 2 and I used the power supply cigarette lighter, which is working, down to the DLC there. Let's just see if that changes anything. I just want to know for future, for voltage supply, because I do want to fix this. Not usually a big deal unless you're trying to cycle power a lot. Let me put in, yeah, as soon as I put in reverse, power supply cycles. So it's not going to matter for that, whether I do it up there or up here. Let's just try it up here to make sure. Alright, so I put the power supply in up here now instead of down there at the DLC. Hit the brakes, goes away right away. Reverse, so yeah, not going to matter. But if I leave key off, key on, engine off, and I hit the brakes, still does a power supply surge, like it's got a ground issue. So let me get this to load up again.
There's nothing on.
All right, so now you can go in here with everything off. So I do want to fix the power supply for this Tech 2 like I talked about. Like, you know, I keep repeating myself, but I got to get that done. But I want to check voltage on this next. Class 2 monitor is going to be good. It's all active. IPC, ping it. So I just pinged it. Ping it again. Ping it again. So let's hook up scan tool, check voltages, possibly check the ground to the engine computer. Maybe is the issue. I'm not saying that's what it is, but we got some good data with that acting up like that. That the ground is ground 110 on this for the ECM. All right, I found something pretty interesting. I'm using another scan tool here. We're watching ignition voltage 13.5, which is what the computer's getting. But 12.2, or this little one up here, is what the DLCs get. When I put this thing in reverse, watch that one up there. Goes to 10.4. That goes to 12.5. Well, that's why my Tech 2 is losing communication, because it's going so low in voltage. 10.6 volts and then down to 12.5. I put it back in park. That goes back up and that goes back up. That's why my Tech 2 is losing communication. Let me turn it now. Put a load on it. Turning it left and right. It goes down to 11.3 in the top right. Not as bad. But it does drop a little bit. Let me hit the brakes. 11.4, it drops down. Drops down almost a whole volt. I'm holding the brakes. Let go. Comes back up. Holding the brakes. Goes away. Comes back up. That's why my Tech 2 is losing communication. I mean, I still need to fix that Tech 2 for starting issue, but that's making sense now. I don't know what the voltage threshold on the Tech 2 is, if it's 10 volts, 11 volts. You know what I mean? I'd have to look it up. We got to fix that. But anyways, put it in reverse. Again, drops down to 10.1. Then to 12.5. Put a drive, same thing. Put it in neutral. Have the brakes. Let me let go of the brakes. Just start over. So I'm in park. Our alternator voltage is good. That's not good. There should be not much of a difference there. Put the brakes, put it in reverse. Hold it in reverse, it goes down. Alternator in that. Put it in neutral. Let off the brakes in neutral. Alternator's good, but we got a major voltage drop there. So let's take a look and see what we can find. So we did some other checks. Like I said, when you put this thing in reverse, this voltage drops way down, so does this. But while we're doing that, I had somebody watch this, watch the cluster move wire harnesses under the engine, nothing changed. I'm doing an AC ripple test right now. And I think, you know on more than 300 millivolts max. I'd have to confirm that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. If we rev it up here at 2,000 or 3,000 RPMs, we're getting 30, sometimes 50, sometimes 100 millivolts. But the most we're getting on camera is like 25, 30. So, tells me we have no. I want to make sure we didn't have a bad alternator for as far as AC ripple or a bad diode, which I don't think is the case on this. Yeah, if you look here, 40 on the top, so that seems pretty good. So now we got to troubleshoot some more. All right, another thing I noticed, like we say, put it in drive, holding the brake and drive. Look at that, it goes down to battery voltage, almost a little bit above it. Let's just tap the gas, and it goes up. So if I get some gas, but there's still a big difference, 1.5 volts, 2 volts on that, depending on where you're at. So, yeah, AC ripple seems good, so we got to do some more checks here. Let's see what to do next. All right, so moving forward, I already checked this ground here. Well, I didn't check it, I wiggle it, nothing. I'm gonna have to check it. That's the main computer ground. But what's concerning is pin 16 is where we're losing our voltage. That's a voltage drop. That's the DLC. Maybe that'll lead us to the clue. It goes to power distribution circuit 1040, orange wire, which is this guy right here, IPC, instrument cluster fuse block, comes down, powers dead link connector 16 and outside mirror. We have a voltage drop there. I'm going to just use it with a regular meter next to read that. But grounds 4 and 5, so 5 is ground 110, which is the same ground as the computer ground I just showed you earlier, which is this one. Ground 204, well, first the ground 110 does all these other grounds, battery, coolant level, park neutral, PCM, cruise control, instant cluster, body control. So we might run a piggyback ground on that and take a look if that's what we're losing. And then ground 204, pin 4 on the DLC. I just had 204. What did I do with 204? Well, I have 204 here somewhere. But anyways, it's obviously another ground for other stuff. I just can't remember what I did with it. Yeah, I don't know what I did with ground 204. But anyways, ground 204 does other stuff, right? So I can't remember exactly. But I'm going to drive around again, look at it. I'm going to monitor right off pin 16 with a meter, a DMM. Maybe that's going to lead us to the clue, maybe not. It seems like, at first I said bumps it would act up. But then it's like when I turn, definitely when I put it in reverse, it's losing voltage. So acts like a ground issue, and we're losing comm to the PCM and that bus issue. So what we may need to do is just go right after PCM, power, and grounds, because that's what's losing comm. It seems like that's a common anomaly, that the other modules are losing comm to this guy, the PCM. You got 2 powers, battery voltage from the fuse block, a fuse block instrument panel, battery voltage from ignition switch, and then your ground there. So we'll take a look at that next. Alright, we're going to drive it around again, but I'm going to monitor the ground, C2, which is the black 73 pin connector, which is the black one there, and then I'm going to go to pink and orange for powers. I have the pink one right now, it's my Phil's probe. We can monitor it, we can piggyback it, we can check that out with Go from there. Next, JJ, smile. Or not. Alrighty, we are going to take it for a drive again and see what we got with the scan tool voltages. So we're in drive. Back there a minute ago, I put it in reverse to back up and I lost indication and it came back. But right now I got 13.6 and 11.5 on the DLC. I don't have nothing piggybacked on the computer power grounds. I'm going to do that here in a minute if I need to. Of course, my phone's going to die now. Hopefully I get enough filming before it does die. Go back to our same little spot up there where there's some... So I hit a bump here. So I hit a bump there and it didn't change nothing. Hit another bump. So it's not like it's a bump thing. It's like when there's a load on the system. That's what it seems like. So if I turn, there it did it. Well, the lights went away a little bit. Yeah, it's not a bump. It's like, I thought it was a bump originally when I first started filming this, but it's like a load on the system. You put in gear, turn left or right. So I'm doing it there. Oh, come on. Let's get up here. Hope my phone don't die. Well, we did lose comm there. We had comm and then we lost comm when it did it. Yeah, so we have no comm now to the computer. And the lights were starting to flash. What the heck is going on? Not doing it now, but we have no comm. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but because my phone's about to die, it's hard to tell, but we have no comm right now. Let me restart it. Kind of started kind of weird. See if we got comm now. Okay, now we got comm. Where's our voltage? Right there. Put it in drive. Reverse drive. Voltage still drops. Drive again. So when it did it, we lost comm to the computer. So I think we're in the right area for troubleshooting. It's not doing it now. Didn't do it there. Not doing it there. Normally I could do it like clockwork. Nothing there. So what did we move is we moved that computer and that harness out of the way. Now it's less intermittent, so that would make sense that it's in that area. So of course we still got our voltage drop there. Put it in gear and then it goes away. Or better. Earlier I lost comm too, because when I was driving it, I kept it on film. I was driving it and it wouldn't shift. It revved up, flared up in RPM. And I lost comm right after that. Or just before that, I guess. Hit this bump here. Nothing. So it ain't doing nothing now. And all we did is move that computer. I'll go wiggle those wires again. Definitely in that area. Turning. Nothing. Nothing. Maybe it's pin retention on the computer. I don't know. Let me go wiggle the computer and go from there next. Alrighty, it seemed better after we moved that computer around stuff. Not saying it is. I didn't even get to hook up the other wire yet, but I put it all back together. Let's go back and look and see when we drive it again what we get. Put in reverse. Drops down the 10.3. Let's go drive it. All right. We're driving it. Just put in reverse, park, and drive. Nothing's changing. Let's go do a route and see what we get. Because before it would do it like clockwork. Granted, we still got the voltage discrepancy there, which is weird, but I don't know how much time we want to put into this car because see what the customer wants to do, you know. Hit a pretty good bump there. That didn't change nothing. So, yeah, originally, like I said, I thought it was a bump issue, but I think it's like a power load issue. All right, what we'll do now is we'll make this turn. This is where it always did it at. One thing that came on is the airbag light, just a little bit there. And that was it, nothing dropped. It's weird that noise in the background, that tick, 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 HVAC stuff comes and goes. The airbag light's on there, but who knows what's going on with that. Before we lose all indication. Nothing there. Nothing there. Ever since we moved that computer out of that area and moved the wires around, it got better. There it dropped. I spoke too soon. Then it went back. I didn't see any anomalies with the voltage too much there. I needed to do it more so I can piggyback those connectors. It's so intermittent. I wanted to do it a lot, so then, like right there. And their voltage 13.4 and 10.2. Well, it came back already. So maybe it's not moving the computer, maybe just I thought it was from moving the computer. Just did it again there and it came right back. When I'm turning, it seems the worst. We haven't lost comm completely yet. It's not doing it there. Well, I think what we're gonna have to do now, head back to the shop. We can piggyback those connectors, take it to ground with that wire there, see if it goes away. If it never comes back, we know it's a ground. If we do the power, same thing. Then we know it's a power. I just did it right there too. So we got more troubleshooting to do. But that's what we're gonna have to do is piggyback those grounds and powers and see what we're losing. It's a pretty good bump there and it never does it. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Turning hard in this gravel a lot here. Nothing. Nothing. Put some more loads on this thing. There it did it. We turn the fan up. We lost everything there. Turn the fan on a higher speed. I put the fan on high. I lost the AC now because it's blowing warm. And I just lost comm. Let's go back. Look, RPM came back when I turned the fan off. Fan on high right there. Then it goes away. We're down to 10 volts on that, 9.9. We'll go turn it off. Still, okay, once up to 10.9, 11.1, so there's a voltage drop there. Everything came back. See if we get calm again. No calm. No calm. No, nothing. Let's recycle power. If we get calm now. We got calm now. So let's do this again. Turn the fan on high to put a load on the system. It's on high. Now it's fine again. 11.5 on the top right, which is still not right, obviously. Now I can't shift. Now it's stuck in park, the shift interlock. There we go. That was weird. That's just me turning AC on and off. Go in circles again. There, it was slipping there. Just revved up. That was weird. Like it lost comm or something there. Turning here, nothing. There, we dropped it. Came back. Let's go hook up those piggyback ground wires and see if it's a ground. If that's not it, we'll go to the power. There it did right there. Everything dropped. Came back. Let's go piggyback those, see if it does it, or if it doesn't. If it does, with the powers and the grounds, we know what's the issue. If not, can at least eliminate that side of the this equation. Go from there. All right, I'm gonna do a quick test. I took that ground there off the connector to battery ground to see if that's an issue. I'm not saying it is, just a quick elimination, right, JJ?
You got it. I thought you already did that.
No, it's because you don't pay attention.
All right, it's true. I'm a little busy.
So, I'm not saying that's the issue, but we can at least eliminate power and grounds that way, or find a problem that way. Start it up, establish comm again. And we'll take it for a drive here. So get them PIDs pulled up. Where in the heck is it? Reverse. Nothing dropped out. Reverse or drive. Let's take it for a drive and see. All right, we're gonna go for a drive now. We'll turn the air on high. So our voltage on here compared to there is still way off, obviously, from our DLC to our computer. Like I said, that may or may not be a clue. So it's on high, driving around, hitting some bumps. There, it just dropped out. So it ain't the ground. It ain't that computer ground. Just lost comm right there. Feel the air getting warm too. Lost everything. All right, let's go back and do the power side. Let's just eliminate this stuff. Still off. Turn the high speed off. Look, it comes right back. Huh. I wonder if it's like a chassis ground or a body ground. Oh my God, we got people that don't know how to drive. Or park. Look at everybody parks in the way. It's like their first time driving. All right, so let's go back and see the power sides. We check the ground side, let's check the power sides. Got comm again. Check the power sides. We'll check chassis ground and all that other stuff. All right, now I'm checking the power side. Giving a power to the other connected battery positive. We'll do the same check. There's one more battery positive. We'll do that. Determine what results. We'll go from there. All right, we're hooked up, running. The engine lights are on from before. Put the fan on high. I think it just did it again. Just saw it do it. Pretty sure it's out of the corner of my eye. We'll make sure it does it again here. And go to the other one. Just did it right there. Dropped it. Boom. Lost comm. That ain't that one. Let's check the other positive next. Keys out of the ignition. It's off. But the damn car's still running. Look at that. The key is off. Everything is off. But the car is running. What the heck is going on with this thing? Look at that. Yeah. Belt's spinning and everything. Oh, it's because I still had power to that wire, the pink wire. That's why. Because I just bypassed it to make sure. Now let's go to the other one next. Now we're on the orange wire to power. Do the same test again. You can at least eliminate these two powers and one ground. Fan on high. Let's get comm established. Come on. We'll just pull up some data. Now it won't shift again. There we go. Now it shifts out of park. We got comm. On high. One's like power, normal power, and one's ignition voltage. We're just checking both those. So we're on high. Just lost it right there. Came back. So it proves it's not that wire either. Lost it right there. Came back. No comm loss yet though. So it's not that one. What I think we need to do next, that's the power and grounds to the engine computer. Right there, lost everything. Well, except RPMs. It came back, now it's all back. Air was getting warm for a sec. Yeah, we just lost comm there too. So, we need to go look at, I think our clue is going to be, like we said, is this voltage drop here at the DLC, power distribution from that, or the ground distribution from that. Look at that. If we find something cool, if not, I don't think it's an intermittent computer thing. I think there's a power ground issue going to that. We need to look at that. That may be another part of the video. This will be part 1 for sure. So more to come for this 2004 Pontiac Sunfire.